Now we're going to be doing something called phase boxing, or making a phase box. We make a protective box for books that are fragile or falling apart, like this one here. You'll see in a lot of cases the spine is the first thing to go. So we make these boxes so that the books don't keep falling apart when they're in the shelves. And so the basic idea with the phase box is that you're going to be cutting out two sections of this cardboard folder stock. One of them, the visualization is the key part to doing this right. One of them is going to wrap around the book this way, while the other one wraps around the book horizontally. You have all your supplies here. You're going to need a T-square, a cutting board, a knife, or archival tape, string, scissors, and then the correct cardstock. If you have questions about what kind of folder stock you should be using, just ask a staff member and they'll be more than willing to help. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your T-square and you want to carefully measure the length, width, and height or depth of the book, and you want to make a note of those. So this one is going to be 4.5. You can just note this down on just scrap stock, and not measuring the call number slip, just the actual book. And then 7, and then the depth. You can also use a smaller ruler for this if you want. So what we want to do is we want to measure out first half of the measurement of the width of the book. So we want half of 4.5. So that would be, and then you want to round it up. So we'll just say 3. And then measuring from where you marked that, you want to go to the depth of the book, which is 1, and make a mark for that because that's going to be what folds over here. After that, you want to then measure out the full 4.5, and then just repeat the process again, 1 inch, and then 3 inches. And so that's the measurements that way, and then you want to come in, and this is where the 7 comes in handy, because this is that's going to prescribe the width of the section that we're cutting out. So just mark your 7 there, and then you want to draw your lines. And the most important lines that you want to draw are the ones for the sides, because those are the ones you're going to be cutting along. The others are just guidelines for when you have to fold the paper. Okay, and so now what you want to do is you want to cut this out, and you definitely want to make sure you're on this green cutting mat. We don't want to scratch up the surface of the tables. If you're comfortable cutting in a straight line freehanded, definitely do that. You can also use a T-square to cut. No one's going to think any less of you for doing that. And it's okay if it's not perfect or pretty. I mean, you don't want to make any great miscuts, but a little wobble here and there will make a big difference in the final project. And so now you can actually set this aside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to halve the 7. So we'll round it up to 8 and we'll just say 4 inches. And then we use the same 1 inch measurement. And then we'd want to go the full 7. Another 1 inch. And then another 4. 8 plus 4. Yes. Okay. And then for this one we'd want to measure the width of this is going to be the 4.5. Here. Okay. So now we just cut it out, making sure that we're on the green mat again. For the longer sides, if you're going to freehand it, I always just divide it up into sections. It makes it a little bit easier. Then you don't have to overextend your arm or anything like that. Okay, so now that we have both of our sections cut out, comes the folding. I usually just use the edge of the table. So for this, you just want to line up the lines with the table and then just come in and just do a quick fold. You can always go back and make it nicer later. So after you fold it on the table, you just want to come in and just secure the folds a little bit more. And just come in like this. just so that you give it a bit of a crisper edge. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it all fits. At this point you want to take out the call number card, and then you always want to put in the top and bottom flap side first. So we'll just insert the book in here and then close this up, okay? So that's nice and good. And then we take the whole structure and put it in here, and then we'll fold this up and over. Okay, and so now what we want to do is we want to write down the call number on the outside of the flap, and then write it also on the side here so they can see it when they're looking for it on the shelves. Okay, so now we keep the tag out because we're actually going to attach the tag to the face box when we're finished. So now is when we use our wonderful string archival tape. At this point, it's really kind of eyeing it, like how much do you think would go around the box. You can always just take the string yourself and measure it. You just want to make sure that you have enough at least to go twice around the longest side. Just take the scissors to it. And so now the process of tying this is special. So we want to lay the string across the front like this, and then bring it around to the back. With smaller books it's nice and easy, you can just flip them over. And then you want to line these up vaguely, and then cross the strings and pull it down so you get this nice cross effect here. And pull that nice and snugly, and then flip it back over. And then on the front, you want to take each end of the string underneath the string that goes over the middle, so it goes under here. And now what you want to do is you want to tie a nice little bow around it, and that'll secure the face box, and then this book is ready to show. And then you'll see here we have a little bit extra. Just snip, snip, and then the call number will go right on here. And now we have a face box, and when you're finished, if you want compliments on it, you can go show it to someone, or you can just put it right on the reshelving and holds cart to be shelved.